What's up, guys? It's Dave, and today we're going to talk about Recovery Week, specific to P90X, but really Recovery Week is not a concept that is isolated to P90X. I've done a lot of triathlon schedules or running schedules, those sorts of things. All of them have a Recovery Week in it, and why? Because it is important. So this is really a customer question. I have a group of people who are doing P90X right now. Some of them have done the program before, not all of them, but some of them have done the program before, and they're just finishing their phase 1 recovery week and shifting into phase 2. And some of them sort of commented, every time I finish a recovery week, I feel weaker, and I feel like this recovery week hurts me rather than helps me. So I want to talk really quickly about what that might be all about. So first of all, why would you do recovery week? Recovery week is sort of what it sounds like. It's recovery, right? I mean, as you go through and do a program like P90X, you're causing all these little micro tears in your muscles and in your body, right? There's only so long you can do that and still get results. Now, some people can do it for a longer period of time. Some people can do it for more than 3 weeks, and they don't need a full week to recover. P90X is a generalized program, so it's not built for you specifically. It's built to take advantage of what most people can handle. What most people can handle is about 3 weeks, and then they need a recovery week, okay? And especially if they're new to fitness. Some of these guys who've done P90X before, they're like, look, 3 weeks, I could go longer than 3 weeks. And if I would recommend more like a P90X2 schedule for those guys, where you're staying in these little microcycles for 3 to 6 weeks, because their bodies can really, really handle it. But not everybody is that way. And I think it's important to just sort of acknowledge that's why the program's designed the way it is. So that's what Recovery Week is designed to do. It's designed to help your body just absorb what's going on. You kind of do week 1, you're trying to figure out what's going on with this week. Then week 2, you kind of got it down. And week 3 is like the mastery week. Then you do a recovery week, okay? So the comment about, I feel weaker after recovery week, I think sometimes that's because people think recovery week is going to be rest week, and when it turns out not to be a rest week, they take a rest week anyway, miss some of the workouts, aren't as consistent. You got to do yoga twice. Sometimes people don't want to do that. That core synergistics workout is really tricky. And so I think maybe people aren't fully committed to the process during the recovery week. And that's okay, but that could explain why you maybe feel weaker coming out of a recovery week. The bigger thing, and I think what's really going on, is that the workouts are now changed. Okay, so to give you, for my people who are in this P90X group specifically, you went from doing push-pull workouts like chest and back and shoulders and arms to all push, chest, shoulders, and triceps, all pull, right? Those are pulling maneuvers, back and bicep, right? That's a small change, but those workouts are also, I think, more difficult. I think chest, shoulders, and triceps, back and biceps, probably 2 of the toughest workouts that are in the whole setup. You're doing much more advanced maneuvers, one-arm push-ups in chest, shoulders, and triceps, the corn cob pull-ups in back and biceps. Those things are really, really hard. So it shouldn't surprise you that when you shift from those phase 1 workouts into the phase 2 workouts, you don't feel as strong. I would be really surprised if when you go now finishing phase 2 and move into phase 3 and you go back to chest and back on the first day, you should feel stronger. And if you don't, then maybe there's something going on with nutrition that we need to really look at, and calories and that sort of stuff. But I think that's really what's going on with people, is they don't feel as strong because the workouts have changed. And so you don't have the same level of mastery. When you do that same chest, shoulders, and triceps workout the second time in week 2 of phase 2, you're going to be a little bit better at it. And then by the time you do it the third time, something like the plyo push-ups, which are crazy hard, aren't that hard. And I'll kind of give you an example of this for me. For the last sort of 8 months or so, I've been doing a lot more strength training than normal. I was a triathlete and cyclist, and that's never been a big, upper body strength has never been a priority. It's been cardio. I've been doing more stuff like Insanity. Over the last couple of years, I've gotten really into stand-up paddle, and in particular surfing on my stand-up paddleboard. And upper body strength can save your life. So it's kind of a priority for me. So I've spent a lot more time focusing on lifting weights, and I've been doing it with Body Beast primarily. So the Body Beast workouts, just to give you a comparison, right? Like a chest, shoulders, and triceps workout, for example, it's you do a push-up, and then you do a shoulder move, and then you do a tricep move, right? And then you do a push-up, a shoulder move, a tricep move. And you just kind of do that rotation. Body Beast, those workouts are very different. You know, like with a chest workout, I'm gonna go pick up something pretty light, do 15 reps, put that down, pick up something a little bit heavier, do 12, put that down, pick up something a little bit heavier, do 8. Then, without taking a break, put the 8s down, go back to the ones I did 12s, and then do 8 more. It's called a drop set. That's a kind of a good example of what Body Beast is like. So on Tuesday, rather, I thought, well, all my people in this P90X group, they're all in phase 2, and they were all telling me how hard chest, shoulders, and triceps was for them on Monday. I'm going to do that workout instead of the Body Beast chest and triceps workout. I figured it's close enough, and something a little bit different wouldn't be, you know, the worst thing in the world. So I proceed to do chest, shoulders, and triceps, and I'll tell you what, it is hard. Super hard, right? I'm like, oh, I forgot about these one-arm push-ups and these plyo push-ups and some of the really, really hard moves in that. And that was 2 days ago. This morning here, 2 days after doing that work, I can still feel it, okay? So that tells me that it's not that I'm weak or it's not that I haven't been consistent with my workouts. It's not any of that stuff. The issue is the workouts are really hard. And when you're asked to push your body to do something you haven't done for a while, maybe a long time, it's gonna struggle to do it. And so you shouldn't be surprised. You know, I also think there's some pacing issues with the workouts. There's a little bit different pacing. And so the workouts are just different, you know? So I think that's more likely what's going on. Again, as you finish phase 2 and move to phase 3, I would expect you're gonna feel stronger. Phase 3, you're shifting every week back and forth between those workouts. So, you know, that's a real challenge too. But I don't think people conceptualize it as much as they do that first recovery week. So if you're struggling coming out of recovery week, that might be why. Hopefully this has helped you. If you need anything else or have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Info at the Fit Club Network. Hang on at the end of this video and you can have all my contact information. I'm happy to help if I can. All right, guys, until next time, talk to you later.